It was supposed to be just another flight. A bright afternoon sky, sunlight streaming through the windows, the hum of engines steady as a heartbeat. Passengers scrolled through phones, sipped coffee, read books. The world below was nothing but soft clouds and blue horizons. Inside that calm metal bird, no one knew that within minutes, everything would change. In row 12, near the window, sat a woman named Elena Brooks. Late 20s, quiet, traveling alone. To anyone looking, she was just another passenger, hoodie, backpack, earbuds. But Elena carried a silence deeper than the clouds, a past she never spoke of. The intercom crackled, breaking the soft monotony of the flight. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're expecting light turbulence ahead, so please remain seated." The voice was calm, routine, almost reassuring. But then came a sound, faint, muffled, a thud from the cockpit. A murmur rippled through the cabin as a flight attendant hurried forward. The captain's voice returned, shaky this time. "If there's any medical personnel or trained pilots on board, please come forward immediately." The calm dissolved in an instant. People looked at each other, confused, anxious. A few stood, others froze. Elena's eyes widened. She knew that tone. She'd heard it before, in combat radios and emergency drills. She hesitated, her pulse racing. Then, instinct took over. She unbuckled her seatbelt. The hum of the engine suddenly felt louder, like a heartbeat pounding in her ears. Somewhere ahead, a co-pilot had collapsed, and fate was about to ask her for something she'd sworn she'd never do again: fly. All eyes followed as Elena moved up the aisle. The cabin lights flickered slightly, passengers whispering. "Who is she?" someone asked. A flight attendant met her halfway, panicked. "Are you a doctor?" "No," Elena replied softly. "But I can help." Her tone carried a confidence that made the attendant hesitate, then nod. They reached the cockpit. Inside, the air was thick with tension. The captain sat rigid, face pale, eyes darting between flashing warnings on the console. The co-pilot, unconscious, slumped sideways in his seat. "He just collapsed," the captain stammered. "I can't handle both sides alone." Elena stepped closer, scanning the instruments. Her hands didn't tremble. "I've flown before," she said. "Military, F-16s." The captain blinked, disbelief flickering into hope. "You're a pilot?" "Was," she answered. "But right now I can be." She slipped into the co-pilot's seat, strapping in, fingers dancing across the controls. Warning lights blinked, autopilot disengaged, altitude dropping slightly. The engines trembled against gusts of air. "We're in a jet stream shift," she muttered, adjusting the yoke. The captain glanced at her, a stranger, yet composed, calm, sharp. Outside, the daylight glared through the windshield, reflecting off white clouds. The aircraft steadied. "Nice recovery," he said, half in awe. Elena didn't answer. Her focus was absolute. She hadn't touched a cockpit in years, but her hands remembered. Her breath synced with the plane's rhythm, her heart steady. In that moment, she wasn't a passenger anymore. She was what she was always meant to be, a pilot. The storm came without warning. The sunlight dimmed as they hit a curtain of gray. The plane jolted violently, trays clattering, passengers gasping. Oxygen masks swayed above heads, untouched but ready. "Brace!" the captain shouted. Elena gritted her teeth, hands steady on the yoke. "Keep it level," she muttered, adjusting pitch and thrust. The cockpit lights flashed red, stall warnings, system alerts, chaos everywhere. "Left engine unstable," she noted. "I see it," the captain replied, fighting the rudder. "We're not holding altitude." "We will." Her voice carried a fire the captain hadn't heard in years. Lightning flashed outside, illuminating her face, fierce, determined, eyes locked forward. The engines roared like thunder beneath them. "What's our nearest diversion point?" she asked. The captain struggled to focus. 300 miles south, but we're in the middle of the storm." Elena exhaled, calm. "Then we go through it." She increased thrust, pushing the jet nose slightly upward. The wind screamed. The aircraft shuddered, but she held firm. The captain watched her, almost forgetting to breathe. Below them, clouds churned like dark oceans. Inside, it was as if time paused, a battle between fear and focus. In the cabin, passengers clung to each other. Somewhere, a child whispered, "Are we going to fall?" And a mother replied, "No, honey. Someone's flying us." Elena's knuckles whitened around the controls, her mind a blur of training and instinct. The storm roared, but so did she, silently, through her resolve. "Not today," she whispered. Minutes stretched like hours. The captain's breathing grew ragged, fatigue clawed at him. Elena noticed. "Take a breather," she said. "I've got this." He hesitated, then nodded. The plane pitched slightly, turbulence unrelenting. She fought to stabilize it, scanning the dials, hydraulic pressure dropping, fuel consumption uneven. "Come on," she whispered, coaxing the jet like an old friend. Outside, the world was a swirl of gray and white, flashes of daylight slicing through the clouds. For a brief moment, the storm parted, revealing the endless blue beyond. The light hit her face, and something inside her shifted. A memory. The last mission she flew, the one that ended it all, fire, loss, silence. She'd sworn never to sit in a cockpit again. Yet here she was, flying through chaos for strangers she didn't even know. The intercom buzzed. A flight attendant's voice cracked with emotion. "The passengers are scared." "Should we tell them, tell them?" Elena interrupted. "We're landing soon." Her tone was steady, commanding, almost peaceful. The captain looked at her again, realizing this woman, this stranger, was the reason they still had a chance. "You're remarkable," he muttered. "No," she replied, eyes locked ahead. "Just doing what needs to be done." Ahead, through the thinning clouds, a faint runway appeared on radar, a coastal strip, barely long enough for a jet this size. Elena exhaled slowly. "There you are." The storm fought to the end. Crosswinds howled, rain streaked across the windshield, and the runway blurred beneath them. "We're too fast," the captain warned. "Noted," Elena said, adjusting the flaps. The plane bucked, tilted. She countered with perfect precision. "Brace for impact," she called into the intercom. In the cabin, passengers tightened seatbelts, held hands, prayed. The wheels hit the tarmac hard, bouncing once, twice, before catching. Screeching metal, smoke, and rain filled the air. Elena pulled reverse thrust, heart pounding. The jet slowed, inch by inch, until finally, silence. The plane stopped dead center on the runway. For a moment, no one moved. Then the captain exhaled, eyes wide. "You did it!" Elena leaned back, breath trembling. "We did it," she replied softly. In the cabin, the silence broke into cheers, cries, applause. People hugged, wept, thanked God. A child's voice echoed from the back. "The lady saved us!" Elena smiled faintly, tears welling but unfallen. She looked out through the rain-streaked glass. The storm was fading, sunlight piercing through in golden rays. For the first time in years, she didn't feel lost. She felt alive. Outside, the runway glistened under breaking daylight. Rescue crews swarmed the aircraft, flashing lights reflecting off puddles. Passengers disembarked, shaky but safe. Reporters, cameras, chaos waiting, but Elena avoided it all. She stepped down quietly, the wind cool against her face. The captain followed, calling after her. "You're a hero." She turned, offering a small, tired smile. "Just someone who remembered what she was born to do." In the distance, the sun broke fully through the clouds, golden and calm. A little girl ran toward her, the same one from earlier, holding a crumpled drawing of a plane. "For you," she said shyly. Elena knelt, taking it gently. "Thank you, sweetheart," the girl whispered. "You weren't scared, were you?" Elena smiled faintly. "Oh, I was. But I flew anyway." As the crew prepared the empty jet for tow, she looked back one last time. The storm was gone, leaving only light. Somewhere inside her, the guilt, the fear, the pain, all of it, lifted. The sky that once haunted her had finally forgiven her. She walked away from the plane, sunlight behind her, peace ahead. Because sometimes, the universe doesn't ask if you're ready, it just calls you back to who you are.